This is SolidWorks tutorial lesson 3.4. In this lesson we're going to use the sweep tool to build a spring. So we're going to start by going up here to insert, and we're going to insert a curve and a helix spiral. Okay, the first thing that the property manager asks us for this tool is to select a plane on which to sketch a circle to define the helix cross section. So we're going to click the front plane to draw that. Okay, let's see a picture of what we're going to be building. This is the spring, and these are all the specifications for the spring. So this is the 2-inch full diameter. We'll call that the big diameter, and then this the small diameter, which is the cross section that will be swept around. This whole spring is 6 inches in length, and it has 8 revolutions. And then we'll talk about this 135-degree starting angle in a little bit. So going back to SolidWorks, we're sketching that 2-inch circle, and we'll go ahead and center it on the origin and dimension it to 2-inch in diameter. So when we're adding in these dimensions, we can add it up here or over here, and it's the same thing. And we'll see in a later lab in our drawings that makes a difference. But we're going to go ahead and drop it down up here and change it to 2 inches. And we'll go ahead and accept that and exit the sketch. When we exit the sketch, because we're in the helix tool still, it will go on to the next step. In the property manager it says it's defined by, and we've got all of these choices. We know from our drawing that we wanted to define it by the height and revolutions. So we're going to select that one. We're going to leave it with the constant pitch, and this default, since I just barely made this, is 6 inches for the height and 8 inches for the revolutions. Normally it wouldn't be the default, but it uses the last setting that you used. And right here is the starting angle. If this starting angle is divisible by 90, then you can see that it will start vertical from the origin. As we move it up and increase it, my computer has to think about it for a little bit. And a little bit more. So we're up to 94. That won't be as good. Let's change it to 135 again. Then it changes it all the way to the 135 from that horizontal over here. So if we have it in multiples of 90, we could use the right plane or the top plane to draw our cross section on. But we're going to actually pick 135 so that we can see how to do it with a different plane. And if we change the view with the middle mouse button and dragging it, we can see that our spiral is going out from that circle in a certain direction to a distance of 6 and with 8 revolutions. Sometimes it's fun in the property manager to switch these around to see what happens to our preview. So we can see that 8.75 revolutions will decrease it, and we'll go back to 8. My computer's really slow. It will look better on yours when it's not running the video software. But you can play with these heights, make them go up and down to see how that changes the spring. Alright, so let's go ahead and accept the helix. And that will count as one sketch. It's a helix spiral over here in our design tree. We open it up and it has a sketch with it, that circle. And this is a feature, so we can go in and edit those features anytime we want. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to draw a new plane that will be perpendicular to this end point here. So if you remember, we can make a plane by going to Reference Geometry and Plane, and we can put in certain references. The first reference that we want to put in is that endpoint dot. We can see that that plane is now perpendicular to the end, but it's not lined or perpendicular or right to the end point of that line. So our second reference we're going to put in is the helix itself. Now you can see that it's perpendicular to that edge. And that's where we want to draw our circle. So we'll go ahead and accept that plane. It's our new plane, and we're going to draw a sketch on it. So go ahead and start a sketch and line ourselves up. When we draw this circle, we're not able to center it on the origin, so we're going to draw it out here, and we're going to use relations to fix it in. So we'll draw it out here. We'll have the 0.25 inch diameter. So 0.25 inches, and accept that dimension. Now what we want to do is we'll kind of go off center so we can see it. We're going to click on the midpoint of that circle, hold Control and click on the helix, and we're given this pierce relation. So we'll go ahead and accept that, and that puts it right on the helix. And we're not seeing the relations right now because I actually have them hidden in my view. If we show items and view sketch relations, we can see the ones that are put in. So a cool little pierce relationship there that works really well with the sweep tool. Alright, so that new sketch is fully defined, so we can go ahead and exit it. And we're ready to do the sweep. So this time we'll just go in the features, we'll use the sweep boss base tool, and we'll insert them in ourselves. SolidWorks could probably do this one for us as well if we click them before we enter in the sweep tool, but this one isn't too hard to do. And there we have it. If we accept it, we have our spring. Alright, and now if we want to, we can go back and we can edit the helix. We can do anything we want. We can change the starting angle to 160, something completely off. And when we do that and accept it, everything else modifies to be with that. Our plane was modified. Our sketch is now drawn on that plane, and our sweep starts there and goes around. So we have a lot of power in our design tree to modify it to be what we want. And that's the end of the spring.